Hi all, welcome to another video. Now this is a test of the 4th generation Intel i7 4770 CPU running on integrated graphics, which is the HD 4600. So the first thing is to make sure you install the latest version of the integrated graphics and set the rendering mode to performance, as it doesn't default to performance. You can go do that in the HD settings app. And 16 gig of RAM I'd make sure is the minimal for this setup, because those integrated graphics do grab some of that system memory. And a solid state drive is useful for loading games and to give the system every chance. So what I'm going to do is run Heaven and Valley, report back with the results, and then run a few games. So I've run Heaven and Valley, maximum resolution and quality low, and all the other settings switched off. So for Heaven, we're getting a score of 572 and an average frames per second of 22.7. And on Valley, score of 709, average frames per second of 16.9, so nothing to write home about, which is what we expected really. So when I run the games, some of them I'll start off with the same settings as I did with the E5300 and Q9300 CPUs, and then adjusted accordingly. What I would do is maybe set everything to low quality and just work your way up until you get a good balance between performance and quality. Right, so let's get some games running. First we have Crysis. So I've kept the same settings as I did when I tested that Q9300 paired with the HD 770 GPU. Nothing going on, it's 30 frames per second. So what I'm going to do is nudge it down to low, because I think once things get moving, there's no way that frame rate's going to stay as it is. So I've got the resolution on 1920 by 1080, and in fact everything is set to low, so I'll just leave it as it is and get that resolution down a touch, I think. So what should we go for? 1360 by 768, and let's see what we get. So it's up to 60 now. Saw a bit of graphical pop up. So the trick is, if you've got this set up, is to set the resolution down and set everything to low, because you want as many frames as possible with a shooting game. And it's holding up pretty well, I must admit. Just get some effects. Get some more characters moving. So yeah, it's according to that Bandicam setting, it's at 60 frames per second. So if you want the game looking even better, see if you can nudge the quality up without compromising the frame rates too much. But yeah, it's looking good for Crysis. Obviously later on things do get a lot busier with vehicles and more characters, but at the moment, in that opening scene with a few bits of action going on, that's decent. On to Zula. So what I've done is I've put the resolution down to 1366 by 768 and the texture quality to low, just to see what we get, because when I tested those settings in the Q9300 video, I noticed there was a bit of chopping, stuttering, etc. So let's save those. I'll restart the game to apply the settings, get into a match and report back. Right, so I'm in a game now and the Steam counter is reporting over 100 frames per second. So there's a heck of a lot of leeway you can have and get the quality up and maybe the resolution as well, because that frame rate's more than enough. I mean, it looks pretty good at the moment anyway. So if I was you, I'd keep these settings. So let's get a bit of a firefight going, but even if I should really have got that player then, sneaked up behind him. So I can't see any screen tearing, so I think I would keep these settings. So that's Zula. On to Paladins. So again, I kept the same settings as per the last video. So resolution 1366 by 768. I've kept the resolution scale at 100 and everything else set to medium. So let's get a game going and I'll report back. Right, so I'm in a game. I'll just try and see if I can get some firefight going. So it's over 100 frames per second at the moment. So I think maybe I should have adjusted the settings on the previous video with that lower tiered CPU to get a better frame rate. But at the moment, with things happening, this is very playable. So there's probably some headroom to even get that resolution up as well, because at over 100. I'm sure even if it goes down, this game's still going to be very, very playable. So I'll just try and get a firefight going again. You could even probably get the textures up as well. The choice is yours, as they say. So yeah, it's still above 100. Right, so Paladins is definitely a pass.